night, good night, good night. And once again, we are live on Tobago, in Tobago Update Studios. And we have another program of For the Hour. My name is Edison Thomas, and I will be guiding this evening's discussion as usual. I hope that everyone had a peaceful Monday today and had a restful weekend. Everyone, I always say take the Monday, the opportunity to set the week or the tone for the week in a good light so that you could put yourself in a productive state for the rest of the week. And so I do hope that everyone had an opportunity to have a good Monday. I know a lot of persons don't necessarily like Mondays, but New Year 2024, take the opportunity to, make a resolution. Hey, let's take Monday as a day to set the tone for the rest of the week. And so that you will have an easy coasting for the rest of the week until you enjoy the weekend once more. All right? But Mondays aside, we tonight, here at Tobago Updates, we not only want to talk about the politics or we talk about, current events, everything. So we will take a break from the heavy politics tonight, So I know some of the viewers love that. But we also have to take stock of Tobago's culture, which is very, very, very important. All right. We have Carnival coming up, National Carnival, that is, which takes place early this year in the middle of February. All right, so we have a short season this year. And because of that, we have a short season, and we also have a kind of gray area when it comes to the putting on of National Carnival, which is usually in February or March, depending on the year, and the October Carnival, which the assembly and a lot of other stakeholders are now trying to get off the ground as a main staple in the Tobago Festival's calendar. All right. And so to discuss the state of the February National Carnival, right, the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival, we have on set with us some of the band leaders from, I believe, the Band Leaders Association. All right. And so I will take this moment now to introduce them. So we have Miss Janelle Eastman, who is the band leader of New Creation. And we have Miss Marceline Ned, who is the band leader of Marceline Ned and Associates. Did I mispronounce anybody's name?
No.
Okay, great. Great to have you guys on. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. I hope that you guys have a wonderful 2024, if I didn't take the opportunity to mention that before. All right. So good night, guys.
Good night.
So we're here to discuss the state of the National Carnival, February Carnival for 2024. We know that is a short season, and sometimes things get a little bit rushed, right? But I want to get you guys' opinion on what do you think the current state is of the National Carnival in February. I'm going to start with Miss Eastman.
In Tobago?
Yes, in Tobago.
Well, I never really take part in last Carnival, October Carnival, because I was already preparing for Nationals. Because to me, Nationals make more sense, right? I had taken part in the first October Carnival, and it didn't benefit me then, to see. So I said to myself, I will not be taking part in last October Carnival. I'd focus more on Nationals coming up. But right now we're on a kind of ticklish ground there, because it's like I thought everything's supposed to be like usual. All band leaders who did not take part, because not every band leader on the island took part in the October Carnival. More like people outside of Tobago took part, and partial band leaders, not the most major ones, take part in the October Carnival. So it's more like an outside, inside thing, right? But the people who usually just take part in the February Carnival, well, I expect that all of us will be getting ready for competition because it's nationals, right? And on no circumstances they're supposed to be changing or making any changes to that except they go to Parliament. Plus, if there's changes to be made, they're supposed to let the band leaders know, okay, we want to focus on October Carnival for adults and Junior Carnival in February. So at least the band leaders would have a heads up, because there's a lot of band leaders that prepared for February Carnival, right? Or some of them partially almost getting ready for the competition. And to hear that there is no adults in the pretty mass band, they want to do king, queen, and individual. You cannot just spring something like that on a mass band, because remember, everybody trying to step up the game, have the customers and thing, and you can't just close the shop just so and say, all right, I close off the shop. So all who was coming from east, west, north, and south, the shop closed, you can't get nothing. People already made plans to come to the island. Okay, if we looking at the tourism sector and you want to make the tourism sector more better for Tobago, you can't make rash decisions like that, like shut off the adult carnival and say, okay, we just bring in juniors. Do you really think that the people who come in from outside just come in to see children carnival in Tobago, really?
Yes.
And besides that, the parents and them who staying around to bring the juniors to town, because they want the juniors to come to play carnival too, right? Right. The parents and them who come in to bring their children to play mass, it didn't have anything, when it didn't have nothing for them to do, because it has some that does bring their children to mass and play mass. They will take their children and go to Trinidad who come in to play the juniors.
Right. I fully understand.
The children cannot come in town by themselves, really.
True. They need adult supervision. True.
So they have to think. You can't just spring something on somebody in a short notice like that. If you had said, like, since October, before the October Carnival had taken place, you say, band leaders, we want to have a meeting with you. We think we want to change up things a little bit and see if that will work out for we. At least we know in advance, okay, all band leaders going to be bringing adult mass in October, and then we do the juniors in February. It would not have been a problem. But you can't just say, okay, so what about all the people who make preparations for seniors? What they're supposed to do with their members in the band? Right? And some of us will lose members in that way too, because we are jokers. You wait until last minute. I probably paid on my costume since last year, and now you're telling me to have no mass? So how is that working out for me? I could have taken my money and go and jump up in another band in Trinidad. Right? So you cannot do that. It is giving that's a big a major blow to the mass fraternity in Tobago by doing that as a general thing. Those I'm not talking about the people who took part in October, because most of them was like promoters. It was like a fete hub, right? Carnival is not a fete hub. Carnival is about our culture. And if we are stifling it for our own self, eventually it is going to die. If we go to another Caribbean island like Grenada and them places where they have the traditional mass. No other mass can come down the road besides the mass there when it's time for that mass to come down the road. You understand? So we have to take our culture seriously or else we're going to kill it. And then what is the identity we leave in for our children for the near future? What history we leave in for them?
Right. Let me have Miss Ned come in. Miss Ned, I want to hear your opinion on what you think the current state of February Carnival.
Good night to everyone. Well, as I just tell people, I in mass all my life. And coming from a mass background, you know, the passion is in me. Did I say, oh, all band leaders studying is money? It's not a matter of band leaders studying money. It takes money to bring a band, you know. You have to have the vision. You have to have the creativity to try to bring a band alive. You have people on the side that say, oh, all band leaders in Tobago only bringing us such a crap. Do they know how much it takes to bring that crap alive? No, I'm just saying. The balling, we want the 2-piece and fries. And when you get the 2-piece and fries now, because you're saying you want Trinidad Mass. And you're getting the Trinidad Mass. You don't want to pay. Half of them don't pay.
Right.
For costumes in Tobago. But you're going Trinidad and pay $4,000 or $5,000.
$5,000, yeah.
For 2-piece and fries.
That could fit in my purse.
Right? For 2-piece and fries. But getting down to the nitty-gritty of it. It's only 2 permanent band leaders took part in October.
Only 2.
Myself, and you had Miss Pearl Duke, which she is originally a junior band and she decided to do something for last year, October. Miss Luan Melvin, she didn't really take, but she just tells she members here, all you have all your old costumes, all you we go on the road and jump. Right? And other bands decided here, we go focus on the
February.
National Carnival. Now, this is Trinidad and Tobago. If it is Trinidad and Tobago, you could separate and tell Tobago they're not having no carnival. That don't make no sense. We don't have it hard already. Right? What about people like Miss Eastman? You have Luan Melville, you have Astra, Miss Winchester. Them done prepare the things on them long time to come and tell them no competition. And it's against, this is the rules, it's against mass rules for you to bring a king and a queen and don't bring a band. An individual is different. You could bring an individual unattached. But a king and a queen must come from a band. Must come. We were ready for this thing. Whilst some of us was being getting prepared for October Mass. The Mass fraternity, we had some changes. We had our elections. We now have a new president. We have furthermore a new committee because I'm on the budget committee. Right? So for a matter of fact, we say, all right, Carnival is right there. Let we start with it. We start putting the budget together and we wrote letters from since November to meet the chief secretary and the secretary for tourism. Long time we have been waiting because we didn't want it to broadcast, all right, and next minute we're not running mass. Because we have not run mass in years. Its festival was running the mass, not us, right? And we started to put things together. Well, they had reached out to me first to get in contact with the new chairperson, which I passed along the information. She had a meeting with festival on the 22nd, the 22nd of December. Now watch it, 22nd of December. The whole of November where we had all of this could have been trashed out. We would have known if bands would have pulled out.
And Carnival early this year.
and Carnival, right? Because why some of us was having a room Christmas, some of we was doing we thing.
Costumes and stuff.
We was doing we costume. We would have been drafting we designs and whatnot. So from out of that meeting now, something was thrown and said that it's just a conversation that we're going to have. We thinking and having just the juniors, not the seniors. Now, my chairman, she wouldn't take it upon herself to say, well, yes, she for that. She have to bring it to us, the band leaders, which she did. We had a meeting. She let us know what was taking place, and we shut it down. One time, it can't be. It can't be. But this administration, they are set on. Well, we give all you have to take. Right? So I was telling other people, it don't make no sense. We go in and protest. It wouldn't bear no fruit. So we have a choice. If we are going to bring out we abide by the rules to try to keep the mass in Tobago alive. It's only 9 bands take part in Carnival last year. 9.
That is February?
In February last year, because of what took place and the disrespect that was dished out to us, the band leaders, and it had more band leaders. Imagine junior bands. Junior bands is 42 junior bands, 32 seniors, right? And it trickled down to 9.
Right.
You give us 1.3 million. Now, let me tell you, this 1.3 million is to pay salaries, stipend for workers who take part in the carnival, band leaders to get infrastructure. And why Roxborough got 1.7 because you know them had the Afro Queen show. And now you're telling me we're not having Afro Queen show?
Well, in February, in October.
In February. No, but that is a mad scene. Remember Roxborough. Any event that Roxborough have, the score. Because the countryside, if they support it, so you're looking forward to this Afro Queen show. Do you know that in Scarborough we used to have a carnival queens? And in 2005, that was the last show that it had. It went downhill from there. I could give you history of how mass used to be in Tobago, Juve. Then you're telling us we're not having Juve in Scarborough because Crown Point have a Juve, but Crown Point Juve is private.
Okay.
Is the businessman which by, as I was telling somebody, does get assistance from festival. Because Crown Point doesn't do it on their own. Cudler Hall has a Juve on Carnival Tuesday. They and all get assistance. But we band leaders, some of us, just take part in the one in Cudler Hall. Some will go in Crown Point. But for me, I'm telling you the honest truth, I do not go Crown Point. I find it is not safe enough for me to go Crown Point. But I will tell people here, you're bringing a band. You could go Crown Point first. If you're coming from Roxborough, you hit town first, then you go down to Crown Point, and then you make your journey up to Roxborough, vice versa. Who from Roxborough, you hit town first. If you so desire, you want to go Crown Point, you hit Crown Point after, then you go up, because remember, Juve starts from 5 to 9 or 5 to 10, right? The last time Scarborough had a good Juve was back in 2013 under the two organizations that came together, which was Mass Transformation. And I could tell you, I was in charge of that. And I asked band leaders, I say, hey, you could bring something. Hit tongue. I was telling people, still go to Crown Point, whoever, go up. You have elderly people who takes part in Juve in tongue. Now you're cutting that out.
Right.
For what reason?
So you're saying that they came pretty last minute to see the plans that they have for this carnival, and I would have saw that the chief secretary only came. This would have been Friday or Saturday last. right, where he addressed the carnival plans, right? What would have been the ideal time, do you think, for the Band Leaders Association to for him to air out those plans so that they could move to suit? If that's the case, or negotiate, or whatever the case may be, what would have been the ideal time?
The ideal plan, as October had finished, they should have reached out to the mass fraternity. We did it. We sent letters out to them asking to have a meeting with them, letting them know, well, okay, we had our election. This is the new board, wherever, and we want to work to make sure that the national carnival come off good. This is the type of plans that we have. We already have our budget, because you have to go there ready. You can't go there because they will tell you, all the people are in serious now. So we show them here, we restructuring over the whole thing. So we coming to yours. So right there and then they could have come and say, well, all right, here, this is we plans. Or let me, according to the secretary, let us have a conversation. And we could have had the conversation there. We map out a plan. And the chairman would have had a meeting with us. And we would have said, well, okay, well, XYZ. We could have even say, well, it too soon for this thing because bands has already start, and let us see what 2025 would bring. We could work, more. We say, but then you just come after we don't eat all we ham and turkey and all them things. Bam, and come and hit with this. So I am saying, after the October Carnival had finished,
that's when it would be the ideal time to say, well, hey, these are the plans that we have, what you're thinking.
And mind you, for king, queens, and individual, we had reached out to Calypso and asking them, let us have a collaboration for the finals, and the king, queens, and individual come together. We had put a nice package together that you would have people who take part in Calypso come out and watch Calypso, and the few who would have come out and watch the mass along with Pan, because we didn't leave out Pan. We would have had a little 1-2 Pan side, the state side coming and give you a little something to, hold the mellow, because the ageable people will more gravitate to kings, queens, and individual. And if we did put a nice soca artist,
so like a nice showcase then.
Nice showcase.
Okay.
You could have picture that. We would have got some young people coming on, because I could remember last year when we was having with king, queens, and individual, people were saying, but wait, I didn't know that was having a show. I would have come.
Wasn't advertised enough. So you were looking literally at chairs, which was not good enough.
Right.
Because in the beginning, now, right is right and wrong is wrong. If you want to bring in something new on the table, right, you have to consult the people and them who is the major stakeholders.
Right.
Right? And then let them know, well, here what, I want to add in something. I think it might improve what is happening here. Right? You gave a lot of people, because there was a lot of people calling on my phone, it having mass, it ain't having no mass. You gave everybody the impression that the October Carnival was already replacing February Carnival.
Okay.
So therefore, Tobago people who do not know the rules, which is you have to go to Parliament in order to change Carnival to October.
Right.
You have to. This is Trinidad and Tobago, not Tobago by itself. Right? So they gave other people the impression that the October Carnival, after that, there is no Carnival.
Right.
So people didn't even think about looking for bands to play in. They're thinking they might have to go Trinidad to play mass because they don't know.
Right.
Right? And that was very disappointing and misleading.
Right.
Because I keep telling everybody, I said, no, there's October Carnival and there's
February.
February Carnival.
Right.
February is general.
The
General
national
is
carnival.
everybody. It's a national carnival. They can't change it except they go back to Parliament.
Right.
I don't know why they're trying to give people the impression that they can change it for themselves. It is not legal.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue the discussion on the state of February, National February Carnival in 2024. All right. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat. Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive Collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
And we're back. And we continue the discussion on the state of National Carnival 2024 to take place mid-February this year. And we have discussing with us Miss Janelle Eastman, who is a band leader of New Creation, and Miss Marceline Ned, who is also her fellow band leader of Marceline Ned and Associates. All right, so we just left the discussion about talking about what is the state of February Carnival, the National Carnival this year, and we would have, for the persons who just joining us, we would have said that the current administration would have came in a little bit late on the announcement of the plans for February Carnival, with them only knowing what is to take place last week or the end of last week, and at this point, preparations for February Carnival would have already been well underway. But that's what I wanted to get into. Seeing as though deposits would have already been made for costumes, what are some of the costs that the band leaders have to take into consideration when they're putting out the bands? Some of the advance costs.
Well, as we say, some, like for instance, myself, I'm my own sketch artist. I lucky thing I get a C in art going to junior sec. But I don't believe in sketch. I just play with my materials and to bring this costume alive. So you have to have a little pesos to buy the material. You have to journey to Trinidad. Even though we have a small carnival store, you know, you will journey there to see what they have first.
They have different, yeah.
And if they don't have what you want, you have to go to Trinidad and look for the source, the material. Then you have to look for the bath suit, and bath suit is Mrs. Bath Suits. It's not cheap anymore. Right? To start, then you have to get your feathers and all these things. So you have to start spending somewhere. So you might start to say, well, okay, I'm going with 3 sections, so I go put out a 4,000 at first. To start, I to buy the material, wherever. Then you have to get somebody now who doing the wire bending, because of myself, I don't do the wire bending anymore.
So they are separate crafts.
So so you have to pay that person. So it's a prototype, because prototype is money. Right? So you have to pay this person to do your wire bending and how you want your back piece and wherever, and you have to sit down and put this thing together. So you know you could start at a 4,000, and when you get them 3 or 4 sections come to life now, then now is production. So you have to start to pull out your little 10,000 and order your feathers, because I order feathers from away. Most band leaders does it. Or we journey to Trinidad and buy from Trinidad, right?
And
so
this get from away too. So.
So, and you know the price where you go pay for it, or where you're paying for it more here. Right? Because some places, when you go for cook feathers, you're paying must be 175 a yard.
180.
180. you want plumes. Plumes is Mr. Plumes.
Plumes is...
You know, where we starting from the small ones and trickle up. Right? Because some costumes here will start with the small one and then go to the big one. And then peacock feathers and ostrich and all this is money. Money. Then you're starting to talk about your gems. Gems is money. Because you want the nice sparkle. Because they say they want Trinidad mass. So we have to up we game to give them Trinidad mass. Right? So the gems is money. So as I tell you, the bath suits is money, because the style that you want. Wire bras. According to some wire bras, we start at 120 and trickle up. And that is just the plain wire bra with the padding, eh? You ain't start to talk about the material to cover it, the rhinestones and all this. It costs money. And let me let you know, you don't have junior braids and senior braids. Junior material and all the material what junior band does thing a senior band, and it things gone up. It's no longer they're giving you a discount on the old stuff, but the new stuff that coming in,
right,
you will gravitate to it, because here what you're saying, I use them old stuff some years back, so I want to give them something fresh. So yeah, I'm doing rehistory. One of the material, which is my Indian section for the little children, that material alone is $60 a yard. And to make one costume for a child, you're talking about 2 to 3 yards.
Okay.
So check that check that $60 by 3 yards to give you a good impact. So when you're talking about an Indian costume, flowing skirt, night, the sari, everything, and you go and tell them, here, well, give me $500. They find that too hard to pay. They don't really want to pay for mass here. You see how Juve looking? Juve is like a pretty mass.
Yes, these days, yes.
It's a wire bra. Down to the night mask and all.
Yes,
the night mask.
Everybody coming out with costumes
Everybody coming out with costumes. So you can't differentiate from pretty mask to Juve to night mask. So we had to up we game. So when we up we game, we had to put we money where we mouth is. So when we put we money where we mouth is, we want a return. So this is the challenge. This is the challenge that Tobago does have. The challenge is because here, I agree with the secretary that to see a band come down and you only have 3 persons in it. But you didn't ask me why I had 3 persons in it. I gave him a costume. Or I decided here, well, I ain't getting with my costume and 3-person pay. And that to come down the road with the 3-person?
Go ahead.
I would like to make this point about this costume giving away thing. Now, listen to me. It has certain times, just because we want to make sure that the chief secretary don't have a problem with people bringing the mass band, and they have 2 and 3 people. Sometimes you just have to ban your belly, like the old people say. A person come, they don't have your 5 something, you give them a discount. A next person come late minute because they're squeezing themselves till late minute and they want to come, you know, because they don't want to pay. Right? So then now you find time constriction now.
So you got to give it out.
So you got to give it out for free. Now picture me. I give you my feather backpack where I spend how much of thousands of dollars to go and order feathers, gems, and actually I don't buy cheap thing, right? And I give you all the accoutrement to go down the road in my bag. Is to know you're going to stay home to wait till the mud coming down the road to go and jump up in my pretty mask costume in the mud. And when I had to come down the road with my band, now I seen 5 grain of people. What going on with that picture? And this is the thing that they do in Tobago here. They say they come into play. Yeah, we come into play. They're coming right up until the same morning. They're coming and take your costumes. I have had instances where I ain't seen no costume in my bin, and when I come down the road, I can't see my band.
You can't see people.
Or people telling me they can't leave yet because the boss tell them they can't leave to come and play no mass yet. They have to wait. And so they say how the band's coming down the road late. But the bosses in Tobago not letting you go and play mass. You're crazy?
You want to work next morning.
You understand? They don't take it like Trinidad do.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Right.
They don't.
Right.
They believe that that's just a thing, but they don't do like Trinidad. Trinidad people just go to the bank, take loan to play mass. The boss just give them time off to go and play their mass. The boss are not going and jump up in a band. You understand? This is not the trend in Tobago here. The trend in Tobago here, people like too much of free thing. Right? So they will squeeze back themselves. They're saying they ain't ready yet. I don't know if I'm playing in but they're waiting till last minute so that you have no choice
to give
them your costumes that you spend a lot of money for. Because they find it too expensive to pay, right? And it is hard for band leaders to have all this work going on, you doing this work to get your money, right? And then now you tell me no adults, all right? No adults. So who paying me back for my mask where I produce? All the costumes, how many ghosts I going to be have there in the corner waiting? Who pay me for all my ghosts that line up in the corner? If they say a small band is 25 to 50, so I will have 50 costumes sit down in a corner there, and you telling me that I can't bring my 50 costumes on the road because you change your mind, you get up this morning and you feel that it shouldn't have no adults. So my 50 costumes that I spend my money, maybe my children money, my grandchildren money for school, I squeeze some of my grocery money, I buy for. You're setting me up.
Right. So at this point in time, where the band leaders would have been in preparation, most band leaders, you think, would have been in preparation for Carnival on a general. How far would you have been in that preparation?
Well, I could speak. It has some of them I could speak for, but because as I said, it had some of them didn't bring their mask last year because of what transpired, and they decided well, I go bring my mask. So they had started, but they end up stopping. So they continued. So they would be prepared. Myself, I had already known what I was going to bring. So even though I was taking part in October, I started to buy my things and them for Carnival. I like bat suits and things. I say, well, here what these bat suits and them, and I could still use some of these bat suits and them for Carnival. So I had ordered and paid for extra bat suits that will help, cut down my cost and whatever. But as I said, with the juniors, I more focus on the juniors than the seniors, because the seniors would have been already in a gear. So the juniors now, I had was to hustle, and according to my sister, they cut down on some of my groceries and don't buy no curtains this year. So I take the curtain money and go and buy cloth, buy Samaru and Jimmy Abus. But when you go and buy Jimmy Abus, you were seeing curtain, but they had the little corner there for the little mass, and I say, hey, I come for 2 little fabric for the mass. So if people could visit my mass camp, which is located Garden Side Street opposite Tiantec Sports Club. So you're seeing everything when you're passing it. So they see from October I didn't take down. I put up new things.
Right.
So in myself, I'm ready. So if they turn and they say, well, here we having Carnival tomorrow, I done start on my junior for the little competitions, my king, queens, and individuals, because I was doing thing today. I was covering costumes and to make myself get ready, because we was told that we're gonna bring back children extravaganza. So the extravaganza competition would be before the kiddies carnival on Carnival Saturday and Sunday. So children extravaganza would have been a week before. So you have to get yourself in order. So band leaders had already known here. We're looking at the children extravaganza on the 2nd of February. Start your thing. And that is what some of them started to do. So we know the 2nd week now, we would have been having kings, queens, and individual. So when you're done with your junior, you focusing on myself, who have 2 bands, a junior and a senior. You starting to put your king, queens, and individual for your senior. Right? So you have bands who had already started, and some of them meet today. Well, what I go do? We go and protest. But I tell them plain, protest to do what? Protesting don't make no sense. You have to make a choice. It's either you cut and contrive, you try to come for October. Some of them say, no, they're not coming for October. And you can't force that on people. I'm not here to say October is not a good thing. October is a good thing. But this is with national. I have people that's come from Trinidad to play February Mass.
But I was going to ask that question because I remember Mr. Leacock, a discussion, he was saying that there is a demand for Tobago Carnival in terms of persons who don't necessarily want the kind of pace that Trinidad does give.
That is true.
And so they come over to Tobago to do Tobago Carnival during that time. Is it so that would have been one of the main markets so we're saying now that, okay, we're moving if we want to focus most of this stuff on October, we don't want to do pretty mass in February, then you have to come to jump up in the same pace in October with everybody else, with all the other bands. But what I wanted to ask is that, is there a seat at the table for everybody for October Carnival? I'm not sure if it is that, and I never heard any band leaders complain about October and them not getting an opportunity to put on mass. But seeing as though that you said that so many people chose to sit out October for February, is that because they don't have a seat or place there if they choose to, or they just were in anticipation that February would have been bigger?
Let me tell you what would have happened. When we heard early up that we're going to have the year before the election, that we heard it from before, that we was going to have a October Carnival. We met we had a meeting with the Secretary for Tourism. We even had, because some of the bands are affiliated with other association in Trinidad.
Okay.
So we invite them up here. We had a cordial talk. You could have say the October Carnival, they done plan at that one meeting. 22 permanent band leaders. 22. Right? But what was supposed to really happen that bands from Tobago would have benefited and we would have upped our game. Band from Trinidad will affiliate with a Tobago band. So even Ronnie and Caro, they come up and the thing with Jade Monkey. And we had, I just throwing out on here, Big Mike would have go with Miss Eastman, you know, Tribes could have McGill would have come with me. So you would have seen a big ambience. So that is what we was expecting. We were supposed to have a workshop. So this workshop, whatever that we was going to bring for October, this workshop would have give us that leap because Mr. Big Mike, he would have been doing the workshop. And believe you me, we have learned plenty from Mr. Mike Antoine. A lot we have learned with previous workshops that we was having with him and other persons from Trinidad.
Right.
So, and then now, the launch of October Carnival is where we would have had a big launch and whatever that we was going to bring with the counterpart from Trinidad, people would have seen the new designs and wherever advertisement because they spend real money on advertisement for the October. Spider. So
for the first one.
And they were supposed to put up websites and all these things. And lo and behold, a slap in the face, it went downhill. So when it went downhill, it was just a few of us still took the opportunity to still showcase ourselves. Well, me and Miss Eastman, I did tell she said, girl, we collaborate together. Wherever you bring in and I bring in, we go make it and come as one. And that is what we did. But bands of itself, because we was coming out of a pandemic and thing, we suffered losses.
I want you to hold that thought for me. Try your best to hold that thought. We had to take another break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the discussion on the state of February Carnival in 2024. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
And we're back. We're continuing and we're wrapping up the discussion on the state of National Carnival in 2024 with two band leaders of Tobago's prominent bands. All right, so we have on set with us Miss Janelle Eastman and Miss Marceline Ned. All right. So I want Miss Ned to continue her thought because I asked her not to not to lose the thought for me. What was the reasoning behind the breakdown in partnerships between the bands in Tobago and the bands in Trinidad that left a sour taste to moving on for October Carnival?
Frankly, the Secretary for Tourism, you tell us we will have workshops, and mind you, they didn't have to pay for that workshop to done. The monies would have been to buy the material and whatever, but you didn't have to pay Mr. Mike Antoine. He was doing it for free. All he was asking was just for the accommodation. You understand? And we gotta look for some place not too expensive and put him in. They don't have to study to get him meals because we could cook. We would have whip up something, give him nice Tobago food, and it just went downhill. Then you keep on hearing it was approved and nothing happened because it was a date was already set. We were supposed to have the first phase of the workshop about the 22nd of April or the 19th of April. Somewhere them 2 days. We were supposed to have it, and we was like, how we ain't get no phone call for this thing. And when we called the then chairman at that Miss Bedro Gemma Dennis, she was like, nobody reached out to me. I sent emails and wherever, and they say it was approved, and it didn't come off. That is why you did not have 22 bands coming down the street. I think we had was about 9 again, because you had bands who launch and wherever and did not come out. Just a few of us. That is why you hear they was asking why they spend all that money, what bands get. Well, when I see the assistants have a $5,000, we come with 2 plastic bags like we went to cost cutters and make some groceries that we was having that at a laugh and say, well, this is what the money do. Because I could tell you, I spent over $8,000 in bath suits. Well, my thing was 2-piece and fries and wherever. So you know the cost. And then you talk about feathers because it's Indians I was doing, right? And it was a total flop. But I could tell you, the Trinidadians and them that who came and play with me and Miss Eastman, they enjoyed themselves. Some did return this year, last year, and some say, well, the reason why they didn't return, and they say, well, I see all they had a rum pum time and a vex me, so I'll be returning next year, which will be this year, right? So I'm looking forward to it. But what I believe this administration is like the blind leading the blind. You understand? And the persons and them who really have the expertise in this, they are not there. You understand? You just and the figure, because I went and do a degree in UE, make me feel like I know it all. You have to look for people who in it now. And mind you, young people, let some of them old cobos and them go home and try and give the youths and them a try, because I'm still a youth, I'm 15 years old. Right? Come together and make a nice product. Right. Because this thing could work. And this thing what people I hear Gypsy saying that, oh, forget about national and focus on October Carnival. He making it sound like he was the first person to think about October Carnival. No.
We had it before.
Let me tell you who is the person who bring this thing to life. My aunt, deceased Wilma Bedlow. And she's not getting the recognition for that. right? And she went to deceased Mr. Hochul Charles, may he rest in peace. He and she having a good conversation now about it. She went to him and she sold him the idea, because we used to have a carnival in August after Great Race. No, before Tobago Fest coming, you used to have Great Race used to be emancipating. I'm saying it right there. No, the 1st of August. Emancipation. And you used to have that carnival there along Scarborough, but it used to be more Burnett Hill on that side, coming down. And she said, come, let we do this. And she talked to Mr. Hochul Charles. And that is how Tobago Fest came alive. Right? It is a good thing, but why kill one to bring another one when you could try your best to say, well, all right, to the sake of what can we do to make Tobago Carnival a good thing? What can we do, even the Juve? What can we do to bring Scarborough Juve back to life? When you take all the music truck and you send some down, so and the businessmen and them, you know, they used to put out the music, and who will come and get a band. You're not seeing that again now. You can't tell the young people and the in-betweens where to go. Right? But if you make it attractive, they're going to come. Because you have more bands participating in Scarborough than in Roxborough, than in Crown Point. But Crown Point Juve is more, as I say, affecting.
Right. So the chief talk about support for, he said that they want to do the prizes, right? This is coming from what he said last week. He said that they want to do the prizes because they don't do prizes in October. So they wanted to come back and do the prizes for the bands. Kiddies, as you said, they want to support the Kiddies Carnival. The grants for bands, right? I'm not sure what the grant is for. Also Juve in Crown Point and Roxborough, right? So in what ways could the THA, well, in your opinion, could the THA support more in order to facilitate the carnival? Because, I mean, I'm watching the amount of things here, and I'm not too certain what else is there to support. You could go ahead.
I have a question. Yeah, burning question. It may or may not apply to me because I have my band is registered, right? But I heard that they want the bands to be registered
as registered companies.
As companies.
Yeah. Or businesses.
Or businesses. And have their bank accounts to their bands. Now, let me ask a question. How many band leaders do mass seasonally? Meaning that they don't do mass throughout the year. Right? What bank information is going to be putting forward on the table to show that you have been making money for the government to tax you back, for you to pay taxes? What
makes no sense.
They're looking for people to go to jail, right? They're looking for people to go to jail, because if I only bringing out corn soup when it's Great Race time, and I register my thing for all the whole year, the government expect me to give a little something in when it's time for my taxes to be paid on my corn soup, where I'm making that money the whole year. So upon not making no money whole year, and I only doing it when it's Great Race time, am I not going to jail because I'm going to be owing the government?
Well, I believe they have ways in which to calculate it based on how much you make, but
not in
Tobago. Tobago does not do mass like in Trinidad. Some of the band leaders and them, it's only seasonal. If you know you had to do mass for February, you do mass for February. But they don't have like, all right, we February mass go on here, and then I had to go Jamaica, and then I go in Grenada, and then I go in. You
So they
understand? So the
make
money is coming
different
through.
carnivals.
You're right.
Okay.
It flowing. So then I'll be putting money from Jamaica, from Grenada, from Barbados. I have an account saying, well, right, I'm getting paid from all these things. Of course, the government could then tax me. But if I am making no money and I only doing it Christmas time.
Well, what I would say, well, this would be my suggestion, is that for the persons who, or the bands who don't have their accounts registered or don't have the businesses registered, the Mass Association, if they have a bank account, have it paid to the Mass Association and then they distribute to the bands from there.
It ain't working so. The money do not come to the association anymore.
It goes to festival.
Time it used to. It's festival. So if they say mass getting 2.5, we don't see that 2.5.
Okay.
And money will leave back from that 2.5. That they
And
don't write a check and say, well, okay, here's the remaining money from the 2.5. What didn't you?
So if they spend one, they'll keep
They
the 1.5.
remain, and we don't know what that be happening, right? But when you have to be, a man have to be making a certain amount of money for taxes to be paid.
Apply,
No Tobago band don't make that.
Okay.
Right? And then secondly,
They will be real.
this grant what they're talking about is only for Carnival. What account are you telling me that alright, the business is going on going in the bank and say, is me the individual? I the individual. When you're setting up a business, especially you have to have an executive and it's not so simple, you know.
For the for companies.
Yeah.
For companies, you have to have secretary,
share structure and everything.
PRO, all these things. So when you telling me if a band don't have this thing,
you
cannot get the grant. Well, I would do like what I do normally.
Most people wouldn't be qualified for the grant.
Would not be qualified.
Okay.
So we don't look for it. So what the chief secretary said do not make sense when it comes to this carnival thing.
Okay.
What normally happens, they do out the draft the thing. I come and if it's a small band, I think you give me my grant for the small band. It have clause in it. If I do not produce a small band on Carnival by Ash Wednesday, I must have back the people and them money. And that is how it has been for years. You can't come at this present hour for that to happen.
Well, I think they say they hadn't started because of the proclamation of the
that proclamation,
but
that proclamation is different. It's if you're doing THA.
And they spend way too much money on October Carnival.
Right.
So they can't say they come in and give Carnival, which is General Carnival, $5 million.
Right.
That ain't gonna work.
All right. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for coming out. Right. It was great having you to hear some of the issues that you all encounter in the mass fraternity, right? I hope that Tobagonians are listening. Also, I always say at the end of the day, this Tobago business is our business and we need to mind it, all right? But until next week, we'll be back next week with another riveting discussion, all right? So until next week, I bid you adieu. Have a good night. Tobagonians, mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.